the simple landscape of the numbers right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's crazy.
People associate the 2008 crash and they don't look at why that happened. It was because of faulty loans, because of...
Welcome to Loans Elevated, the podcast that brings you the latest industry news, expert interviews, and insightful discussions that will help you stay ahead in this dynamic market. I'm your host, Broch Lassig, and I've spent years in the trenches of the mortgage industry, helping individuals and businesses navigate the complex landscape of real estate financing.
I'm your co-host, TJ Heidenreich, and together we'll cover a wide range of topics, from business strategies that skyrocket your success to mindset and motivation that fuel your growth. All right, welcome back to another episode of Loans Elevated. We've got a guest star again today with Mr. Jessy King.
Third time here.
Third time's a charm.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, we haven't kicked him off yet. Okay. So today we're doing something a little bit different. We've got a reaction video. I've got some news headlines that caught my attention this past week. I want to get your reaction.
I have no idea what we're going to be talking about.
I know
he wouldn't tell me. So
he's asked me like 4 times this morning what we're talking about on the podcast.
So this will be a genuine
yeah. Yep. Okay. First one is housing down payments hit all-time highs as home buyers battle high mortgage rates.
So people are putting more down to combat high rates.
Yep.
Seems a little counterintuitive.
Right. I mean, simple thinking. You're like, okay, yeah, you put down more money to lower your mortgage payment, but it's like, is it really helping that much with your mortgage payment?
No.
Or is it worth staying liquid? I mean,
well, it goes against our BYOB.
Yeah, holistic mortgage planning.
Yeah.
Now, if you guys haven't heard us talk about that, you can go back to other episodes. We've dedicated full episodes to BYOB, Become Your Own Bank, to really combat these high rates and to get payments where you want them to be.
Yeah.
But it's crazy that there's a lot of people advising homeowners or home buyers to put more money down to try and catch up with these high rates, which...
I think it's not just people advising, it's people have that ideology just from growing up with the older generation thinking they have to put more down.
Yeah.
I actually had a conversation with a client in California. She's looking to save to put as much down as she can. I'm like, well, why? Mm-hmm. She goes, well, isn't putting more down lowering the mortgage payment? I'm like, well, yeah, it does, but
when you break it down, I've typically when I break it down for my clients that I'm like, okay, have you thought about putting, like say they want to put down 30%. I'm like, okay, have you thought about putting down 20%, or we can have a 15% down, no mortgage insurance program. And when I tell them the difference in monthly payment at first, like, cause 30% to 15%, that's half. So there's going to be a little bit difference in the mortgage payment where it's going to be higher. And people are like, oh wow, that's higher, but not as high as I thought it would. And then I tell them the amount they have left over, like they still have in their pocket. I'm like, okay, now you can subsidize with that. And they can have subsidy for 5, 6, 7 years on end, which odds are they're going to refinance by then or sell by then. They might not even be in that house. Yeah. And the possibilities they could do with that money if they're investing it in other areas, or maybe purchasing a smaller investment property with those funds to help with whatever.
Yeah. The other unfortunate part about that is too, like normally we'd advise don't put more money down, buy down the rate, but we don't want to be buying down the rate right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because of the refinance in the next 1, 2, 3 years.
Yeah, right. Because you don't want to buy down the interest rate and then waste those funds. Because we run a break-even period, and we'll help you through this with your exact scenario. But there's going to be a break-even period where your monthly savings by buying down the rate is going to take some time to make up for that cost, the initial cost of buying down that interest rate. So we want to make sure we're running that through with you. But if it's not going to be within 1, 2, 3 years, it definitely does not make sense. And we don't want you to waste those funds.
The reason why that's unfortunate is because it does more bang for your buck lowering the interest rate than it does putting it
towards
down.
the down payment.
Yeah, it takes a lot more to put down to lower the same amount versus lowering the interest rate just a little bit.
Yeah, no, 100%.
That makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does to me. I hope it does.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it's crazy. And also having more funds on the sideline is good if an emergency comes up. Because life happens. If something happens with the house, you need to replace something, or you lose your job, heaven forbid, and you need to use those funds. Well, if you use all your whole nest egg towards your down payment, you can't tap into it that quick. And typically, if you need to tap into that equity, if it's for an emergency, you probably don't qualify anymore because you probably lost your job or something. So,
and that might be more prevalent now with the economy slowing down too, and kind of slowly going to a recession. We'll see if that ends up
Right.
happening, but it's been talked about.
Yeah, for sure. All right, next one. This is from Inman News. Okay. The headline is 35% of Americans hope the housing market will crash in 2024. Now, later on, let's see.
As if they haven't been saying that last 2 years.
Yeah, later on, they go on to say that only 25% of Americans think that we will not have a crash next year. So that's 3 of every 4 people you're talking to think there's going to be some sort of correction or crash or of some sort.
That's just wishful thinking. So they
wishful, or I mean, it's
not wishful. But it's
doomsdayers.
Yeah,
like
the crash only happened once ever. And that was 08.
Right. I think the exact record is like 72-2 or something like that.
72
or 74-2. It's over 70 years.
It's like 72, 7-1.
7 that stayed
because it's
flat.
80 years.
Okay,
72,
gotcha.
7-1. 72 years positive, 7 years flat, 1 year negative.
Crazy.
So, like, I mean, even if it did crash and you bought, you're buying for long-term investments, not for a short gain. So even if it does drop 20%, like in 5 years, it's going to go back up and you're going to make your money. Like, for the long haul.
For people that, I mean, because that's just a survey from the average Americans there, and they surveyed thousands of Americans, but it's crazy to think that people are just uneducated and reacting based off of fear rather than looking the actual stats. Yeah, the fear-mongering media. Because in reality, you have to take a step back and look at inventory nationwide. There's a legit inventory problem, but then also you have to take a step back and be like, okay, I'm not buying real estate for the short-term game. I'm not. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme.
No,
because the alternative is renting, and renting is 100% loss. Guaranteed. You're giving your money away.
I think they say that they think it's going to crash, or whatever the statistics said, because of 08, because they think, it could happen then.
Right.
The housing market's in a difficult time right now, so it's going to crash again. It's
right.
Well, no, that was for a whole.
And what I find interesting is you ask everyone that went through a hard time in 08, or everyone that purchased a house in 08, I think they would do it again 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, because the people that
if they were able to withstand through the hard time, and able to still make their mortgage payments, whatnot. Because looking back,
those who held on,
the house has appreciated mega.
Yeah, if you pulled up the graph, you could see that it goes up, down, and then skyrockets.
Yeah, it's my guarantee that I'm giving to my clients right now. It's like, okay, I guarantee that I will buy this house from you 10 years from now at the price that you're paying now, because it just the simple landscape of the numbers right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's crazy.
People associate the 2008 crash and they don't look at why that happened. It was because of faulty loans, because of idiots out there giving loans out. Exactly. So anyways, I just want to get your reaction based off that. Read deeper into the headlines.
Educate your clients.
Yep. Educate clients. If you are looking to buy, have questions, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to help out wherever we can. And if you guys have any ideas or anything that you want us to cover on the Loans Elevated podcast heading into next year, please DM us, put it in the comments, reach out to us, tell us what you want to hear, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for tuning in. For more industry insights, follow us on all platforms at Loans Elevated.
And to get in touch with our team, call or text 801-713-4000 or visit loanselevated.com.